Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things we learned in Olivia Rodrigo Driving Home to You.
I think being a songwriter is actually the best job and the best craft. There's nothing that connects people, and there's nothing that is a truer window into the human emotion than music.
For this list, we'll be looking at revelations from the singer's Disney Plus documentary, from insights about the breakup that inspired her album, to tracks that were almost left unreleased. What was your favorite revelation from Driving Home to You? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Almost shelving Deja Vu. Olivia's second single from Sour was almost never released.
I remember thinking it was a bad song, and I didn't like it, and no one was gonna like it.
In Driving Home to You, Rodrigo voices her frustration about Deja Vu. The song, which would rise to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, talks about recycled relationships.
I think I was just learning about relationships and love for the first time, and I was like, wait, none of it is special. It happens over and over and over.
Rodrigo was nervous about the drama surrounding Driver's License and following up her first hit with a different kind of song. Fans were convinced Driver's License was about her ex, Joshua Bassett, and his rumored new relationship with Sabrina Carpenter. Rodrigo did not want the new single to feed into stereotypes.
If I put this song out, then I was also playing into this drama, love triangle, let's hate on other girls thing, and I just did not want to do that. And that was, again, I never write any of my songs from that point of view because that's not something that I feel.
The singer called her producer just days before the release to pull the plug, but wound up keeping the song. Number 9. Driver's License lyric change. One word makes a big difference.
And I think specificity and also authenticity are my two favorite things that a song can have.
Of course, all writers tinker with their work throughout the creative process, but some edits are more interesting than others. In an early version of Driver's License seen in the documentary, the lyrics have a small but significant change.
I think I'm still as innocent as I was when Driver's License came out. I don't know, maybe I'm a little hardened now.
The final lyrics, on the other hand, reference a blonde girl, which is what led the world to speculate that it was about actress Sabrina Carpenter. Rodrigo does not address the change in the documentary, instead moving on to talk about her own emotional development. It's a fleeting moment, but one that can make fans add more nuance to the long-accepted narrative surrounding Sour.
So much has happened. I think I'm completely different now. It's weird to think about.
Number 8. The Sour songwriting process. You can tell from her lead single that driving is significant to Olivia Rodrigo. Turns out, it played a key role in the creation of her debut album.
One step forward, 3 steps back. I wrote in the car on my way to Salt Lake City with my mom.
For a period of time, Rodrigo lived in Los Angeles but was filming High School Musical: The Musical: The Series in Utah. For the film, Rodrigo recreates the familiar trip with performances of each of her songs from Sour.
Even when I hadn't put it out, when I just had the demo of it on my phone, and sometimes I'd drive around and listen to it. Every time that came on, my stomach would drop just because I felt it was so acutely how I was feeling.
She chooses different locations for each track, using stops between the two cities for new renditions. In that way, fans are given an insight not only to her songwriting process, but also her emotional state in making the album.
I want to play the songs in these places that meant so much to me and revisit them with older eyes, I guess.
Number 7. Breakup Insight. Sour is a breakup album. In Driving Home to You, Rodrigo reflects on how a failed relationship spurred her to create her art, talking about the intensity of the pain it caused her.
This relationship was definitely the heartbreak that kept on giving.
It was particularly devastating because Rodrigo had to keep seeing her ex while he moved on and dated someone else. Of course, fan speculation pointed to her co-star Joshua Bassett.
I love you.
The two had to continue working together for High School Musical: The Musical: The Series after their real-life breakup. Rodrigo never mentions Bassett by name, but speaks to how acute the heartbreak was and how songwriting became a coping method for her.
Nobody understood how I was feeling or related to it. And so I think by writing songs about exactly how I felt, I was creating a friend for me.
Number 6. Driver's License diary entry. The first line of a diary entry became the first line of a #1 hit.
July 13th, 2020.
I got my driver's license today.
Rodrigo reads what she wrote from that day, referencing her desire to get her license because of the freedom it would afford her in the eyes of a boy she was interested in.
I always felt bad about being too young to drive over to see him, too young to have any real freedom. I always thought he should be with a girl who had those liberties.
Even in her diary, viewers can pick up on how Rodrigo is still processing her breakup. She writes about how she feels less attached to him, but still cannot picture being with anyone else. The entry reflects the raw feeling at the heart of Rodrigo's first single, which she brings from the page to the stage.
I remember knowing that it might be something special, if not to anyone else, just to me, because I felt like that song just really captured devastation in a way that I hadn't been able to capture before.
Number 5, an all-woman band. These girls rock. Several performances in Driving Home to You feature Olivia Rodrigo's all-female band, made up of some serious musicians. It's not the first time Rodrigo has played with women only.
I kinda wanna throw my phone across the room, 'cause all I see are girls too good to be true.
In October 2021, she became the first musician to record a full-length set at Austin City Limits with an all-female band.
You didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor.
She spoke with Rolling Stone about her excitement to have an all-girl band, pointing to the lack of media representation for women in rock. Fans can rejoice. She said most of the band will join her on her first tour.
God, it's brutal out here.
Number 4, unreleased songs. The film can't end without something new.
Take the highs, I'll take the lows, I'll keep you close, give you the most, oh baby, I like you so much it's kinda gross, yeah.
Rodrigo has shared unreleased tracks and projects on her social media, so it only makes sense that she would do the same in her documentary. Fans get a snippet of a new Rodrigo song which plays as the credits roll.
When I say I'm fine, I'm lying really well, 'cause I can't love anyone else, and I'm so jealous that you can. Scared I'll never feel that again.
The in-progress track reportedly doesn't have a name. There's also footage of another song, which producer Dan Nigro plays for Rodrigo in the studio. He calls it, quote, the very first song we wrote together.
You say you lost your best friend, how do you think I feel? You say it's over again, and this time it's real.
The sad tones of both songs would slot well into the sour track list, but Rodrigo's prolific songwriting means everything she pens cannot make it onto the album. Number 3, impact of child stardom. Olivia Rodrigo started her career as a child actor. She began taking acting classes at age 6 and moved to Los Angeles in 2016 after being cast in the Disney Channel show Bizaardvark. Growing up in that circle impacted how she approached creating new art as an adult.
It was really hard for me to grapple with at a young age, is like feeling like you couldn't trust anyone and no one was going to tell you if you were messing up.
When she was young, she would receive glowing praise for any task she did. Disillusioned, she began to act as her own worst critic, sometimes to the detriment of her work.
I was like, they're just going to tell me whatever, and so I kind of like went to the other side of the spectrum and started thinking that everything that I did was really bad.
In an introspective moment in the documentary, she says she began to rely more on her father and her producer Dan Nigro because they would always be honest with her.
Someone in my life will be like unabashedly like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't do that if I were you, which I like really appreciate because not a lot of people care enough to be honest with people.
Number 2, brutal writing timeline. The opening song on Sour was written just 5 days before the track list was delivered.
What's it like when you have 5 days to choose a track listing and you change your mind every day?
Brutal, Rodrigo's pop-punk power opener, was the result of some riffing with producer Dan Nigro. The footage captures Rodrigo as she expresses a desire to include something a little different to round out the album.
We want to put one more upbeat song on the record.
Hold on. This is not a we conversation.
I want to put one more upbeat
Olivia wants one more upbeat song on the record.
They write a new song that day in the studio after Nigro strums some chords on an acoustic guitar. Rodrigo comes up with the hook.
Like the verses are like, people are mean, blood's cruel, and then like the hook, like the thing is like, God, it's brutal out here.
I like that. It's brutal out here.
The scene is the clearest look in Driving Home to You at how Rodrigo and Nigro create together, since the cameras are rolling as they work out Brutal in just a few days. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Connecting with Dan Nigro. Before Driver's License, producer Dan Nigro heard a different song which tipped him off to rising star Rodrigo. The singer had posted Happier to her Instagram in 2020. Although she felt it was not her best work, she left it up.
I had this gut feeling to keep it up. That feeling served me well because that song changed everything for me.
When Nigro heard the song, he connected with her, going on to produce all of Sour. Rodrigo and Nigro's working relationship is front and center in Driving Home to You, showing them in lighter moments of riffing in the studio and in more serious discussions of Rodrigo's frustration with the album.
What's wrong?
I'm so sad about it. I don't know.
You don't like this either?
I don't know.
What don't you like about it?
Because it's just like every other song I have on the record.
The film and their relationship began with Happier. As a heartwarming bookend, the documentary ends with Rodrigo celebrating the completion of Sour with Nigro and looking forward to their future work.
Nothing will ever be the same.
No. Hopefully not. Hopefully I won't be so sad in the next record.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.